How you want to do this? You want to like talk about our backstory first, and then like dive into it? Money talk. How you want to do this? You want to like talk about our backstory first, and then like dive into it, or like what you want? How you want to?
Yeah, we should talk about just talk about our backstory. We talk about when you first started forming your business and just your thought process. Just like how
Yeah, I
we
got you.
regularly chop it up. Yeah.
Let's go. You want to go first?
All right. Now you go first, bro.
I got you. You want to ask me like some questions, or you want me to just dive into it?
Well, I just got just one. So when you first started, what got you to first start creating your business? Got the idea?
Where I got the idea from? Where I got my idea from starting my business was all the trials and tribulations that I faced in life. For me personally, and especially like 2015 was kind of the defining moment. I was in 3 motorcycle accidents and a car accident, all in 2015. I suffered multiple injuries. I was hospitalized for over a week. Couldn't either. I broke my collarbone twice, broke ribs, herniated disc in my back. I had separation in my right hip. I have a metal knee now, concussion. So just getting through all of that and never losing sight of my vision. On top of being in the military,
Right.
just my background and everything that I've been through in life, it sparked being driven for greatness. Driven for greatness is what stemmed from it because I never gave up on my vision. I'm never giving up on my vision, even if it takes my last dying breath. So driven for greatness is just to inspire, especially the youth, just inspire to maximize your potential despite everything that you go through in life. It doesn't matter what you go through in life, never lose sight of your vision, especially if it's to impact others. Because highest act of highest act, man, is just being able to inspire people, man. And inspire people to live out their dreams. And it don't matter what it is, bro. It don't matter if you're selling t-shirts or whatever. It's not the business itself, bro. It's the brand and the message behind what you're giving to the people. The products and services that you're offering is a byproduct. You know what I mean? People invest in you. People invest in you and your vision, your message of what you're giving to people. That's what people take after when you start a business. So that's why I wanted to make sure I hopped on it and make sure I had down solid when I first started Driven for Greatness. And ultimately, I was always, I like clothes and stuff like that, but I'm like, man, I'm tired of wearing other people's brands. And this is me personally, you know what I mean? Like, I'm tired of wearing
That's
other people's
true,
brands.
though.
Yeah, I'm my own advertiser. You know what I'm saying? I'm my own brand. I can create that, and it don't have to be just clothes. It can be anything. But for me, I like having nice clothes. I like dressing nice and stuff like that. So I'm like, man, why don't I have my own brand? And just utilize my creativity and be able to provide products to offer to the marketplace, and to see people enjoying the products and stuff like that. Like that means everything to me. So that's where Driven for Greatness stemmed from.
So from then, started 2015. Is that when it was officially concepted?
So I started the business in 2017. 2015 is when I started coming out with designs and different concepts for shirts. I started with just doing shirts, man. Just try to keep it simple at first, just to try to get the brand off the ground. But in 2017 was when I really started putting everything together, is when I started the LLC. And that's the biggest thing, man. It's like, if you have a product or business that you're trying to offer, formalize yourself. You know what I'm saying? Make yourself a business. Don't just do it as a side hustle, like formalize it. You know what I mean? So
that's the first, you'd say that's the first key step when you started. You should formalize it, make sure it gets registered and whatnot.
Right. I mean, first key thing is understand what it is that you want to either offer to the market. Like, do you want to offer a product, or do you want to offer a service? Find that out, and find out who it is that you want to market to. You know what I mean? So you kind of have like all your steps in place before you formalize your LLC. And then once you formalize your LLC, just making sure that you have a separate bank account, and make sure you have your business bank account in place.
Right.
So that's it's called commingling funds. You don't want your personal you don't want your personal income and your business income to keep everything separate, and that way it's also mitigating your risk too. Take advantage of the tax incentives also that are offered through having and starting a business. Being able to have tax deductions through expenses and stuff like that, like all that stuff you can use to your advantage, just by having a business. But yeah, definitely just making sure you know what product or service, like, pick one product, good, or service that you want to offer to the market. Find who it is that you actually want to market to. And yeah, start your business, get your LLC off the ground. If you're in Florida, ours is sumbiz.org. You can start your business. You can start your LLC for $137, $133, something like that. real cheap, very affordable. You already got, you got your first step down and laying the foundation. It's just a matter of doing it. You know what I mean?
So you say lay the foundation, get the bank account, and as far as tax purposes, what do you say about the tax EIN?
Say that one more time.
The tax EIN, what would you say for that process?
Yeah, so I mean that's just a matter of once you get your EIN, that's what you're gonna use to file your tax. And again, I'm not a certified CPA, so definitely consult with your accountant for any tax advice. Like that. Yeah, I'm just explaining my process.
Exactly.
But your once you get your EIN, once you formalize your business, you're gonna get an EIN. That's what you're gonna use to file your taxes at the end of the year, and it's all based off of how you actually formalize your business. Is it a sole proprietorship? Is it an LLC? Is it an S corp, C corp? Different types of entities, and it's based off of how many people are you gonna have in your business. Is it just gonna be just you? And then from there, you can kind of figure out what would be the best option for you. As far as if you have multiple people join your business, which is definitely, especially if everybody's thinking on the same accord, definitely recommended. But if you're gonna have multiple people, ensure that you have an operating agreement. So operating agreement lets you know how many people, how much ownership does each person have in the company, and where their positions are in the company. So everybody knows exactly where they are, and there's no surprises. God forbid anything would have happened, things go south, you guys break up, you want to close a bit, somebody wants to leave the business, whatever the case is, everybody knows where they stand in the business.
Exactly. Okay. So what we got here, basically similar process, same process. I applied for my EIN as well, opened the bank account, registered the business. But tell people a little about, like you gave the backstory with the Driven for Greatness. Tell them about how important the mission statement is, so they understand that when they decide whether they have a product or their service. What is their brand? What are they really comprised of? What is their idea? What is their structure? Tell them how important the mission statement is.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, mission statement's everything. That's how you're gonna portray your message to everybody. So again, you need to make sure that your brand is able to relate to whoever it is that you're trying to get your message across to. So if it's to the youth, make sure that you have a message in place that is specialized for them. If it's going to be just for the broad public, or you just want everybody to be able to relate to, just making sure that you have your either your systems, your process, and messages in place to be able to speak to whoever it is that you're trying to get your message to.
Right.
And then making sure, of course, make sure you have your website in place, set up your social media accounts, so that way you're able to drive traffic.
Right.
Social media is key, man, and it's free on top of it. Like, yeah, granted, you can pay for ads and everything like that, but it's still like social media is just free content. You have access to billions of people. You got access to the world at your fingertips. So take advantage of that. Use social media to drive traffic to your website, and use that. And you see how much your conversion is, and that way how much people you need to drive to your site in order to convert it into a sale or a transaction of some sort. You feel me?
I like that. Yeah, man. Well, with that being said, let me talk about the process behind my business. Okay, so we're doing the meeting through Driven for Greatness and RFBM, but I have a more entertainment hat on, so people know. You want to get branding as much as possible. I don't do clothing like you do clothing, but I also like to try to have promotional materials as much as I can. We're working on that RFBM, but I start off with more entertainment first. I just always love music. I love photography. I love videography. I still have yet to focus in on one key thing that interests me the most. But when I first initially started thinking about creating a business, it was a couple of years back, even back when I was in middle school, because I just like the idea of having something, not having to have to rely on just one singular stream of income. But when I got towards college, where growing up in especially a Caribbean household, didn't really have a choice. I'm definitely going to college, so I'm like, okay, well, at least let me try to think of something that I'll apply myself as much as I can, but also understand that I want to, in the future, have a stream of income where it's primarily through my business. And one day, it will only be the business that's getting me that income, so I don't have to work for these organizations anymore. So,
and more importantly, you own it, have ownership in it.
Exactly, ownership. And ownership is big. We're definitely gonna have future meetings and whatnot recorded, and there's also, that RFBM podcast in the works. So we're definitely going to discuss different type of topics. Getting back to creating the business. Originally, I found it in 2017, but I really was thinking about it for years. In 2017, I went on Sundays and I was like, let me just go for it. And I didn't even have the background, and even now I'm still learning to fully get everything together. But little by little, I came together and I got to the idea that's like, okay, this is it. I'm going to do it. I registered LLC, and on Sunbiz, I applied for EIN and opened a bank account simply because, like you said, you don't want to cross over with your personal funds with your business funds. And more entertainment is just about entertainment in general. There's so many things you can be entertained. There's so many mediums. People love art. People love photography. People love videos, all kinds of videos, films, music videos, commercials, whatnot. And
everything is digital, bro.
Exactly. You can't forget music. And
nah.
So that's why I started. It's just beautiful thing. More entertainment. I did DJ mixes. I tried it out with a couple of music videos, took some photos. I'm just.
Nah, that's awesome. And what do you feel like your what do you feel like? What's your end goal? Like, how big are you trying to get more entertainment? Like, what is your objective as far as like scaling purposes? Like, how far are you trying to push this? Your brand.
Okay, so I intend to make more entertainment a lifelong thing. I hope that one day it grows to the point where my future generation of my children's children can continue it on, or even if they don't necessarily continue it on how I have it, they just continue on the brand simply because you want to set a precedent that people can continue on, and you leave something. And more entertainment, what it is, there's always people that's going to want to DJ. There's always people that's going to want photos. There's always people that's going to want videos, whether through music videos, commercials, or any type of, pretty much any type of medium. And I see it as a multi-million-dollar business, and I feel like that's how we all should be feeling about our brand. We should be known for it, whether it's a business worth or self-worth. We should feel like we're worth more. Even if we think it's multi-millions, maybe it should be tens of millions. Maybe you think you're $1 billion industry. You got to believe in yourself. Even I just finished watching a little bit of Jeff Bezos and the start of that company. That company is huge, and people might not agree with the business methods that were practiced, but
you can't dispute the results, though.
Exactly, you can't dispute the results. You can't dispute the results, and I just see that the more I push this, the more consistent I feel with this, the sky's the limit. And I was lucky to work at this job previously and link up with this guy named Steven. Talking about driven for greatness. Like, man, this guy makes me want to go harder. This guy makes me want to do more, because
that's what it's about.
That passion is unmatched, man. That grind is unmatched.
Yeah, I appreciate you, bro. Like, the most important thing, and especially like with our mentalities, bro, is like, we're thinking about 100, 200 years down the line. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're really thinking about our grandkids and our great grandkids. You know what I mean? And the fact that we're in our 20s doing this, bro, it's like, we have time to, make, like, we're gonna bump our head. You know what I'm saying? Like, I bumped my head many times. Like, I've lost money in the process. You know what I'm saying? Like, things happen in life. You know what I'm saying? But we have so much experience when we start young. You know what I'm saying? So if we're able to put that into the next generation, bro, it's like, bro, by the time they're my age, they're gonna be dynamos. You know what I mean? They're gonna be light years ahead of the game, and especially within our community. I got my parents both come from West Africa. Your parents are from Jamaican.
Yeah.
Jamaican descendant ancestors. So it's like, man, we both come from Black and brown community. So it's like, man, we gotta make sure like our next generation, our kids, our grandkids don't have to fight the same fight that we fight, that we're currently fighting. We're trying to be, our goal is financial freedom at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Like, we're literally buying back our time, man. Like, I want to be able to raise my kids, not the system. I want to be able to educate my kids. I need to have the know-how to be able to educate them. That's my responsibility as a father. You know what I mean? To make sure that they're good by the time they're graduating high school. You know what I mean? And things like starting a business, taking care of our credit, investing in the stock market, purchasing real estate. All these things we're all putting things in place to be able to have, to give them that opportunity, and for all of us to have the opportunity to live life on our terms, not what somebody else tells us.
Exactly. I like how you were talking about that. Oh, I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No, go ahead. My bad.
Exactly that brings me to the other topic, how you're talking about starting the business and basically giving the background and our objectives and our goals. But credit, a lot of people don't understand credit. They think that they've got to a point now, you can't even lie, there's a lot of people with poor credit. And, as much as I think that it's important that everybody learns about credit, I'm focused in primarily on my community because I feel like we're at a disadvantage within society. And if we had a higher understanding of financial, knowledge, we wouldn't be in the positions that we are now. Although there's many factors involved, don't get me wrong. I feel like setting ourselves up to the next step would be within our community and trying to spread as much financial literacy as I can. And credit, it starts with credit.
It absolutely starts with credit. And a big part about it is like, man, we just have a wrong perception on credit. And we got to realize too, like, man, even, all the work that we're putting in our lifetime, even if we don't reap the rewards of it or reap the benefits of it, our kids will. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, think about that. First, like, we have to have that vision and that mentality to be able to see long term and not just what's directly in front of our face. And I think that's where the issue comes with credit, because we use credit like, oftentimes a lot of people don't even understand the difference between an asset and a liability. So we're using credit to purchase all of these things that we don't need, and we turn around and say, nah, credit is dangerous, credit can get you caught up. It's like, you don't understand what credit is. Credit's a tool, a leveraging tool. Essentially, it's a tool to use. You can utilize to be able to build wealth. You can use credit to be able to fund your business. You can use credit to be able to purchase income producing assets like real estate. So instead of me having to use my money, I can utilize the bank's money if I don't have the capital necessary by leveraging my credit to be able to get access to the bank's money to get a return on my investment for money that's not even coming from my pocket.
While before you can go any further on that too, explain to people that are not really sure about credit assets and the liabilities as it relates to credit.
I got you, bro. So I'll dive into I'll break down what credit is real quick. So credit is it's just an algorithm. It's a financial algorithm just to see the ability for you to make payments over time. So essentially, it's like a trust factor for the banks and institutions and financial institutions to see if they're willing, how much of a risk you are to be able to lend money to you, be able to lend capital to you. Now, credit is broken down. Credit is broken down in the credit profile. So it's not just your score that you have to worry about. Your credit what makes up your credit profile is what's important. So 35% of your score is your payment history. 30% of your scores are making sure you make your payments on time. 30% of your score is credit utilization. So how much of the credit that you're actually using. So if you have 10,000 in credit, they say that not to use any more than 30% of your total utilization. But ultimately, man, use less than 15%.
Exactly.
That way you're not having interest, depending on what your interest rate is on your credit card. Definitely want to keep that as low as possible and don't purchase what you don't need. You know what I mean? 15% of it is your credit history. How long you've actually had credit established for. That's important. That's why it's important for us to be able to start young. And and I'll get into it after, but and you got 10%, you have mixed credit. So what type of credit you have on file, if you have auto loans, if you have mortgages, if you have, bank credit cards, store credit cards, like different types of credit is also what makes it 10% of your score. And then hard inquiries or new inquiries, for instance. So how often you're actually applying for credit. Now, going back to the age of credit history, man, it's like, we got to understand, man, is, especially for our kids, bro, it's like if we're able to understand credit and how to utilize it for our advantage, how we're able to, our kids are able to benefit from it, man. If we have, a credit card, or we have credit cards that we've had for 10, 20 years, for instance, by the time our kids are in high school, we're able to add them what's called an authorized user, which means they adopt our credit history. They adapt that credit profile for that, that specific credit card, whatever it is that we're trying to, add them on as an authorized user to. Now they adopt our credit history. Now, instead of having, 6 months or no credit at all, now they adopt my 20-year credit history.
Exactly.
So now that's going to empower their score. So by the time that they're, graduating high school, they already have a 750 credit score. People talk about just the credit score alone. It's not. Yeah, bro, it's like, yo, it's not just our credit score, man. Like, yo, you could have a 750 credit score, but if you only have one credit card on your profile for $500, that doesn't mean the bank is willing to lend you $100,000 for a house. That's not how it works. They need to show that you're responsible with multiple lines of credit and you're responsible with your money. And breaking down asset and liability, asset is purchasing something that's going to appreciate over time. Liability is something that's going to depreciate over time, and you're going to lose money on. So buying a new car cash, that's a liability.
Exactly.
Ultimately, you're going to lose 10% of the value. Over time, you're going to lose 20-30% of your money. Simple. Spend $20,000, you're going to lose almost $2,000 by the time you even drive it off the lot. I don't want that. So buy something that's within your price range. Buy something that you can buy cash. Or if you do want to buy a new car, man, instead of having car payments, pay yourself monthly. If your car payment is going to be $250, pay yourself $250 for the next 2 years. In 10 months, you already have $2,500. Buy something cheap. Yeah, bro. And ultimately, nobody's going to give a damn about what you drove in your 20s. Nobody's going to remember that. You know what I mean? So focus this time now in the energy, in being an able-bodied person, the fact that we're young and, we're able to put the work in now, man, put that work into investments. So pay yourself $250 a month and then use that and put that as a down payment on a house, something that's going to appreciate over time. Or use it to purchase your first rental property so you're receiving passive income over time. Don't just use it for shopping and, max out your credit cards and you bought a bunch of Jordans or you bought a bunch of, you bought a bunch of nice shirts, Gucci shirts and all that stuff. And now you're getting charged 15-20% interest rate over that on top of what you already paid at retail. So it's just, it doesn't make sense. And we had that. Yeah, bro. And it's like we had that notion and we wonder why it's like, oh, my credit's shot, or man, I can't do this, or I can't do that, or credit's useless, so I'm just going to do cash for everything. Nah, bro, I don't want to do cash for everything. I want my credit so I can be able to leverage it. You just got to be able to understand the game and how how credit is actually played and utilized.
Right. I think people also understand the things, especially even if you don't have a business, just the fact that you acquire the knowledge and how to leverage credit. People don't realize that. I applied for a couple of credit cards this way. I finally got a business credit card. It took a little minute, but I finally got a business credit card. And one of the things that it had was if you spend $3,000 in the first 3 months, they would give you, I believe it was $500 as like a reward simply because they want you to spend. Now, the average person, they might not be able to reach that amount. Well, they think they might not be able to reach that amount. So, especially if you're making have a business, you could simply just buy the equipment that you always wanted to buy and reach that amount. And essentially, once you reach those 3 months of spending that $3,000, which is $1,000 a month, let's actually spend a lot more. You get that $500, and it's just basically free money. Well, money that you earn, technically money that you earn, and then you can use that and reapply it back into yourself. And I don't think people realize that. And most credit cards like that, I'm not gonna say all of them, have that 0% introductory interest rate when you first start. So essentially, it's not like you're gonna have to pay that $3,000 all the way back to the front. If you're being smart about it, you'll be fine. So
and all the money you're putting towards it, you're also paying down the principal. You're not just paying the bank either. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And some credit cards too, they have balance transfer options, bro. So if you have a credit card, you have a balance that's a high interest rate, and you open up a credit card and you have 0% balance transfer fee and a 0% introductory rate for the first 12, 15 months, whatever the case is, transfer that balance from that 15% credit card to that 0% interest rate credit card. Now you're gonna save yourself hundreds of dollars over time, and you're able to pay that debt off faster. So it's like, we got to understand, like, we're trying to get money for as cheap as possible, and that's what credit allows us to do. The higher your credit score, the cheaper you can get money for, and the more access to capital that you're able to get. Now, what you do with it is on you. You know what I mean? So that's why it's important to make it down. Please. Say that one more time.
That's what it comes down to, what you do with it.
It's all about what you do with it, man. It's a money game. You're trying to get money for as cheap as possible and get as much of it so you can scale to the next level, bro. That's what it's all about.
So those people don't know. So say you apply for one of these credit cards and it has a certain amount that they want you to reach. You're not sure you're not going to be able to reach it. So unless you're living off the face of the earth or in a hut in some forest or something, we all have phone bills. We might not all have cable, but if you're going to be able to do pretty much anything, you might need some source of internet,
Yep.
So, and you have utilities. Why not, instead of paying cash, use that credit card to reach that goal? You know what I mean? Essentially, I don't even use my debit card for anything anymore. I use my credit card because
I put all my cards on auto pay, bro.
exactly, you know, you can't beat that. Why? Because don't even worry about just when you first apply for a credit card and they have those reward benefits that you get. Essentially, without that, putting that aside, you get 1.5% on average with credit cards. So it's essentially you're getting paid back for every swipe that you make. So why limit yourself and use cash when you can get paid by using your credit card? You know?
Absolutely. Free rewards apply for you. Like they're available for you. You know what I mean? So it's like, man, you don't have to, like, you're gonna spend, just like you said, bro, you're gonna spend it anyway. So you might as well reap the rewards of having that credit available to you. Again, you're gonna pay it off anyways. Even if you put it cash, it's gonna be taken out of your bank account. You know what I mean? So it don't matter. So regardless, you're gonna pay it. So you might as well reap the, having the cash back rewards from it. Eventually, down the line, you might be able to have enough to where that will be able to pay your bills for a month or whatever the case is, depending on how you utilize it. So just take advantage of low hanging fruits that are available to you. That's the most important thing.
And like I said, we both, we're just giving our own perspectives on things. A little disclosure: we are not licensed financial advisors.
We are not
telling you our personal experiences, but I tell you what, looking at researching these things, you'd be surprised how many things you can take advantage of. When it comes to credit, the options are limitless. The amount of things that you can get through, benefits that you can get from these credit cards. I mean, me, the way I have it, what I have right now, I think I have 7 or 8 credit cards, but every single one of them has a purpose. I had a credit union credit card. The rewards weren't so great, but at a time when I had credit card debt, what I did was consolidate all of the debts into that credit card. And where the initial credit card had 24, 25%, the credit union that I went with only had 13. So essentially, I cut off almost half of what I would initially have to pay, in a few months, and then it got, so.
Absolutely. That's what it is, bro. You trying to, save money, do any which way possible. Like, whatever money I borrowed, man, I'm trying to pay that back alone. I'm not trying to pay the bank any type of extra interest on top of it, man. So, that's just the name of it, bro. It's just trying to get money for as cheap as possible. And then it comes to investment purposes, and then, man, you can start, and of course, make sure you work the numbers out. But look, if you're trying to purchase a property, whatever the case is, you need $5-10 grand to put down on a property. You can, if you have enough credit line and the numbers make sense, you can pull the money from your credit card to use it either as a down payment for a property or to purchase a property in full, depending on how much the property goes for. And then on top of it, man, you can refinance out of that and get it for, if you have a low introductory, 12%, 0% interest rate for 12 months, you're able to refinance, do a balance transfer onto that card. Now you're paying 0 interest on the money that you needed to purchase for a down payment on a property. You know what I mean? So there's different ways to leverage your credit, bro. And for you to make a return, so it's like, you may not have the capital now, but it's like, as your investment portfolio continues to grow and grow through the money that you borrow, your cash flow is eventually, your cash reserves are eventually gonna get to a point where it's like you can pay off all your debts and you're able to utilize your cash to be able to purchase asset cash, however you decide to do it. I always prefer, man, if you have the cash and the credit, man, utilize the bank's money, bro. It's money that, as long as you're being smart and reliable with it, it doesn't matter what you it doesn't matter how much you're going to be borrowing from, as long as again, just the numbers make sense. That's the most important thing.
Right. People have to understand. Leading to the other thing, other aspects of credit. A lot of times, experts, I'm not going to necessarily just say one particular name, but a lot of times experts try to get people to focus on cash because they say that cash, essentially, yes, cash is king in a sense where it has its power, but they basically disregard credit simply because they are telling people not to get into credit, thinking that people are going to dig themselves in a hole. But just like you build a budget with cash, you have to build a budget with credit. But credit is hand in hand. If you have a structure and you have an idea of what you're doing, you shouldn't be worried about using credit. Essentially, people get the wrong idea with credit. People are only using credit to buy liability. But if you're buying something that's an asset, and you might incur debt at that time, and you have the intention to pay that off, and this end result is going to be an investment.
Pay it off. You already have a strategy and game. You already have a strategy and game plan on how you're going to pay it off.
Exactly. So why would you be worrisome? You know? So
That's what the wealthy are doing. But that's exactly what the wealthy are doing, man. You think these big corporations and stuff like that are using all cash reserves to be able to expand and, you know, expand their businesses or whatever the case is? Like, nah, they're leveraging their cash to be able to get access to the bank's money, to be able to scale and grow. And eventually that debt will be paid off over time. This isn't a 2-year vision or anything like that. These companies are seeing 100, 200-year visions. You know what I mean? They see long term. That's why they're willing to take these chances and take these risks. They understand what comes with it. I'm able to expand my business, not even just by using my own resources. So yeah, man, we have to be able to tap into it, man. It starts with credit. And you know, just imagine, man, if we operated our families like a business, and you know, say I have my wife and 2 kids or whatever the case is. For example, if we all have 750 credit scores, bro, we might have access to over $1 million in capital of the bank's money. That's just for a brief example. You know what I mean? That doesn't, or 6 figures or whatever the case is. To be able to leverage that to either start our own business or be able to purchase a property of some sort. So it's like, and on top of it, one of our credits gets shot, or something happens, things didn't go our way, my credit goes down or something like that. The rest of my family all have 750 credit scores. We can still buy in to be able to move the family last name forward. You know what I mean? So it's not just about us, but it's also being able to join forces with other people and combine our resources to be able to push the community, push our last name, push our family forward.
And that's what it comes down to. So credit within itself is no different than anything else. Yes, it can have its cons if it's used incorrectly. And of course, it has many of its pros. But people have to understand. Well, I don't know about other people, but I'm in it for me and my family. I'm trying to lay a foundation. And if you understand that you're in it for you and your family, you're willing to do your research on starting a business. You're doing do your research on understanding credit. You're going to do your research about being more disciplined with your budget. Because a lot of people don't even have a budget. People don't even really fully understand what a budget is. A budget isn't just being something like, oh, let me not spend on this. I think that's a waste of money right there. If you don't have an idea of what's coming in and what's going out, you can't really do that. You just being careful and maybe buying something cheaper one day, or you not spending something on one thing one day, not save your money, but it's not doing anything in the long term. You don't have a plan.
You don't even know what you can and can't afford. You're just operating off a whim. Exactly. And it's all comes to the minor details, man. Like you see, if you're able to track each and every dollar that's going in and out, and you're able to eliminate the things that you don't need, that's not a necessity, but you have a goal in mind of like, man, I'm trying to purchase my first house. So I'm like, now you have a goal and target. Now you have to be able to analyze, like, damn, where's my money going that I'm not able to move forward, or I'm not able to reach the destination I'm trying to get to. So like, man, I'm cutting out these little frivolous expenses, $5 here, $10 here, whatever the case may be, and I'm able to redirect that back into my savings account, whatever the case may be. Realize how much hundreds of dollars that you're wasting every week, every month. You have hidden money everywhere.
And that just what comes down to, man. I definitely want us to do a video in regards to stocks, rental properties, and get more in touch with that. And like I said, we have podcast in the work where we can discuss more financial things. Like I said, we have Driven for Greatness here, and we have more entertainment. We're definitely going to have the link in our bios for the gear and just the background on the product if you're interested. And let's not forget RFBM, which represents Raising the Financial Bar with Mars, another venture that I got, where conceptually I'm focused on getting as much knowledge as I can to everybody. Because like I said, I don't know everything. My friend right here, one of the smartest dudes I know, he doesn't know everything, but we're working out here to learn as much as we can. And with RFBM, I'm not trying to make any skills, trying to draw any traffic in for any ulterior motive. My number one goal is to drop as much financial literacy as I can and educate as much of my people as I can. Because at the end of the day, we out here for ourselves. We got to do better as a community. We have to tap into that drive within ourselves. A lot of us have a drive, but it's not without a specific purpose. We have to be able to we just have to be able to go harder, man. And it's not just going harder, it's going smarter. And what I mean by that is we've been programmed in our minds to just work. But what we don't realize is the knowledge that we can get through passive income, through understanding credit, through starting our business will allow us to work under less duress. Don't get me wrong, entrepreneurship can be stressful. Again, the idea of the finances can be troublesome to some. But once you get into that pool, there's no going back after it. We don't want to keep working for these industries and have them dictate what we can or cannot do. We don't want to be over marginalized and just tapping into culture in America where it's buying consumerism. We want to be the people that are selling for the brand, whether it's believe it or not, we all have something in ourselves that's, whether people might say it's not a talent or is a talent, somebody feels it's gratifying, somebody thinks that it's with merit. So I feel like we should keep pushing. So what's your thoughts about that?
We shouldn't be hiding any game from anybody, man. What for us, empowering other people doesn't take away from our greatness, exactly, at all. You know what I mean? So it's like it's nothing for us to be able to pour into each other. But we have to. Oh, my bad, sneeze. Apologize. But we gotta be able to see each other as family, man. So we able to help each other out, treat ourselves like we are one big community. You know what I mean? Again, hiding the game from everybody isn't gonna do anything. It's a lonely ride to the top, so we might as well be there together. You know what I mean? Everybody has to be thinking on the same thing. Everybody has to be operating the same group. Everybody has to be moving in the same direction. So I mean, that's the most important thing, man. Just making sure that we continue to spread positive and powerful knowledge to make sure that everybody has the resources. Just leveling the playing field. Everybody has an equal opportunity to get to reach opportunities and to reach the goals that they have set for themselves in life. We should all be able to have that opportunity.
Precisely. I love that, man. So once again, just to briefly recap, this was our little video session, money talk, driven for greatness, more entertainment, RFBM, raising the financial bar, man. I just want everybody to get on the same page. We're gonna have more of this in the future. I mean, I'd like to have another one scheduled the following week so we can discuss another topic. I love this, man. Yeah, bro, it's been much. Awesome. Yeah, this is nice, man. We haven't been in contact in a minute, bro. Physical contact. We got to link up, chop it up. The options, it's limitless. There's so many opportunities, so many ideas to come up with. I just love to continue to do it. So, let's get it, man. Let's be fun,
Yeah, man. We gotta do. Definitely gonna make a video. Stocks. Definitely gonna make a video. We'll do. Definitely on rental properties and stuff like that. We'll be a bunch of topics that we definitely be able to cover, man. And we got, definitely meet in person, have a studio set up or whatever the case is, and just have a casual conversation. Man. Yeah, bro, this is awesome, bro.
All right, well, that closes our little session on starting a business and understanding credit. This will be posted on YouTube in the near future. We're going to have links driven for greatness, marketainment, RFBM. There's so many more topics that we have to discuss, and we just got to get into it, man. I just can't wait for us to get into it.
Hey, I just want to I appreciate you, bro, for bringing me on, man. It's been an awesome, absolutely great conversation. We have so much more to dive into. Sky's the limit on where this can go. And again, it's just a matter of just providing free information to people. And again, we're not financial advisors. We're not telling you this is the finite advice. We're just giving you guys game on what we did, and just take the do your own research and invest accordingly, and never stop investing in yourself. And like I said, man, always stay driven for greatness, man. Steven Souma, entertainment.
Our own mind has to be changed. We have to change our mind about ourselves.
Instead of me fulfilling my prophecy, I have to start. instead of me, you know, doing a good job and carrying on the empire, I have to build. And that's a hell of a job for a 21-year-old. You know what I'm saying? That's a hell of a job for any youngster, male or female, to have to build an empire for your family. Because this world is such a gimme. Everybody back off. You know, everybody's like taught that from school.
I don't come to bow, you know, I come to conquer.